Good morning, Madeline Tynan from the Tynan Motor Group, and today I am here with Anthony Bouteris from Rain and Horn Commercial in the Sutherland Shire. You're actually positioned up at Miranda?
Yes, that's correct.
Welcome. We're here today to talk about what happened 6 weeks ago. Obviously, we all slipped into this pandemic and took our businesses all in different ways. Do you remember when it sort of first started happening and you realised that we were really going to go into lockdown?
Yeah, I think it was on a Sunday that breaking news that the Premier, I think, came out and said we're going to go into lockdown the next day. And I'll never forget, I was at Ham Cafe at Cronulla having a coffee with a mate of mine.
Another local great business?
Yeah, great local business. And the phone just went into meltdown virtually that whole night from landlords and tenants panicking about what was going to happen Monday morning. Especially beauticians and hairdressers, and thank God the Prime Minister came out that night at 9 o'clock, and it wasn't actually that bad on his press conference. It was a gradual, as we know, it was a gradual lockdown.
Just explain though, Anthony, in your business, you obviously sell.
Yes.
And then you also do the rental side of it.
Yes,
is that sort of split 50-50 or?
Yeah, correct. At the moment it is, yeah. So we've got a commercial, we only do commercial rent roll, commercial property management, sales and leasing. Right.
And what did you do at first? Because obviously you would have had to get a grip on what was happening, what the government was saying, what's the rules, who has to pay rent, who doesn't have to pay rent. And that took quite a while to actually encompass and understand.
Yes, correct. So I'll never forget it. The first thing Monday morning, we went into the office and we said, okay, hospitality are the hardest hit. And out of our portfolio, we've got about 12 cafes and restaurants that were they did not stop talking on that Monday morning. And they were the priority first that we gave. And we were on the phone to those landlords saying, hey, you've heard the announcement last night from the Prime Minister. The social distancing measures, it's going to hurt these businesses. And it was just one by one coming in, asking for rent relief. And majority, I would say, all of our landlords have been so accommodating to these tenants, because don't forget, as commercial property managers, we've got a duty and obligation to get these businesses through to the other side.
Well, who are they going to put in anyway if they fold? So it's to your advantage to make that work.
Correct.
In talking to you though, you said some people just couldn't see through the trees in knowing how to make their businesses stand up and fight.
Yeah.
And you had to actually talk them through, like, come on, let's see if we can get you through to the other side.
Yeah, correct. Especially the hospitality clients, we had some really panicking and even crying on the phone, and talk about their family and their kids and school fees and this and that. And it actually really hit hard straight away. And I said to them, I said, okay, you can't give up. We need you there on the other side. You need to keep your staff on. You can't let too many go. I said, we're all in the same boat here. And one of them in particular said to me, he said, you know what? He goes, I'm going to have to move to takeaway. And he initially, Italian restaurant in Cronulla, great food, homemade pasta, makes it in-house. He's now selling his frozen pasta from the shop, his homemade sauces as well, and he's doing well. Not as much as what he was, but at least now he's covering his staff wages and getting through this. And I saw him innovate and adapt pretty much straight away. And we know other stories of other restaurants that have done that in our area, and it's working great. But it was the ones that moved straight away and innovated and adapted and went more online, pushing the online.
They have to be supple though, don't they? Like it was changing daily, so that a business has to be supple and actually move with those times each day.
Yes.
And listen religiously to what the government was saying.
Correct.
And implement the distancing rules so that we weren't going to stay in lockdown for too long.
Correct.
So we're here, we're happening. Everything's started moving and everything was going away. Did you see a difference between shopping centres, retail strips, office space, warehouses? Did you see a different space? I mean, walking into Westfield, for instance, is like a morgue.
Correct.
Did you see the difference there?
Yeah. Like my office is right across the road from Westfields, and it just saw the gradual closing of retailers in there was heartbreaking. And then virtually all the coffee shop, everything's just shut in there. But what I saw was a gradual pain increase on the strip shopping centres within the Sutherland Shire. It just progressively just dwindling in numbers, people walking around. Unfortunately, a prime example, Cronulla was doing it tough before the virus.
Right, yes,
and
they
now
were.
Cronulla more, it's obviously, it's hurting even more. But look, it will bounce back. And it's just about a matter of getting that business confidence back. Industrial really hasn't been, in our portfolio, we haven't seen that much of reductions in rent from tenants in industrial. It hasn't been affected that much. Office space, neither as well. It's more your strip retails that have been really hurting.
So have you, there was a bit of a slowdown in the market as far as properties coming online.
Yes.
Have you seen a further reduction in properties coming online?
Yes, yeah. There's a lot of owners now that are saying, well, I can't sell it, I can't lease it, let's not launch it until things settle down. So we're caught in that in between. There are vacant properties out there that haven't been launched online because it's not the timing's not right, but they will come on.
Right.
Yeah.
I do see though that you still have properties that you've got to show. How is that working for you? Are you doing that virtually or social distancing when you get there?
We're implementing social distancing. I mean, I'm wearing a mask. I'm hand sanitising whenever I'm going out. We're not shaking hands. We're still opening the properties. We still have to. I know residential had to adjust. They couldn't do open houses, whereas commercial we were always doing by appointment. That's all we could do.
Do you think then you're seeing a real buyer then? The ones that are coming
Yes.
out and are actually wanting to have a look with you, they must be a real buyer, otherwise they wouldn't be coming out.
Correct, yeah. So the ones that are looking, that are inquiring, they're definitely, and what we're finding is that they're probably more cashed up buyers rather than borrowing too much money. I've had a number of inspections on properties I've got for sale at the moment and off-market transactions that we're working on. So it hasn't, that aspect on the off-market, especially industrial, hasn't really changed that much. That's still ticking along very nicely. Yeah, sure, your shopping strip retails is pretty hard. Business confidence there, investors haven't shown too much confidence, but hey, everything swings and roundabouts.
Oh, exactly right,
yeah.
exactly right. So when you're saying that and you still have properties to market,
yes,
what are you doing? How are you letting people know? The softer sell seems to be what's happening, if I'm correct, is that you're dealing one-on-one with customers that you already know that might be interested in an off-market property?
Correct. So we're working our databases now. We've got a national database. All the Rain and Horn commercial offices are linked, which is good. So we're constantly on the phones now. Social media as well, but emails to our database and online portals like commercialrealestate.com.au and Real Commercial are working. Inquiries still coming through.
Right.
Yeah.
And have you looked at, like your office, you're obviously in a conglomerate of real estate agents.
Yes.
What's happening with the Shire versus everywhere else? Is there a trend happening here?
We're all in the same boat. I bumped into a colleague of mine. I said, how are you going? He said, yeah, we're in challenging times, but if we can get through this, there's nothing harder in life than this, what we're going through now. And that just puts everything into perspective. If we can get through this, we'll get through anything.
Has the Shire been hit harder or softer than any other areas? Have you noticed any trends?
Compared to other parts of Sydney, from what I'm seeing, I think the city is definitely ghost town. There's still people, moving around in the Shire. I would say it's probably on par. It hasn't dropped below that either, what's happening.
And when you're looking at the health check of your own business,
Yes.
and then you're obviously having to do it when you're having to do a health check on some of your clients,
Yeah.
and we do know sometimes that can sway a little bit, the different attributes that they're showing you. How are you looking at your own cash flow and then looking at other companies' cash flows to know what to do?
Yeah, look, the first thing I did, we've got a good contact in the Australian Chamber of Commerce, and I said, okay, what questions do we ask? And how do we get these businesses through this? And the gentleman turned around and said, Anthony, we need to get these tenants through to the other side. That's the main thing. All these financials, everyone's hurting. So I immediately, every tenant that asked for a rent reduction, I physically just got in my car and random time of the day and I drove past that business, or I even got out and there was no one in there, on the shopping strips. And that just proved that, people are hurting out there and they need help. So in terms of our own situation, we rang our accountant and said, okay, let's implement all this. Let's look at some, government initiatives because,
cutbacks in staff, or
yeah,
cutback
correct.
in
Because all these
timing.
rent reductions with us commercial agents and residential agents,
Well, it takes your cash flow, right?
Correct. The more reductions we give, the less management fees we get. So yeah, sure, our business is probably going to look at half that, but everyone's in the same boat. So we've implemented staff have cut back their hours, but hopefully we can increase that.
Have you
next
used
month.
the stimulus package there?
Yeah, JobKeeper package. We will qualify for that. So our accountant's handling all that. He's taken a lot of the burden off that. So because it's just an ongoing issue every day. As soon as you walk in the door, 9 o'clock till 8 o'clock at night, the phone doesn't stop talking to tenants, and we're guiding them one by one through this, seeing how they're going. Yeah.
So in saying that then, mentally, how are you getting yourself through? I mean, like you're a pretty tough cookie, and I know you love your sport, you love your walking. How are you getting mentally through? You work with your dad and you've got a team that you've also, trying to keep employed.
Yeah.
How are you mentally, physically doing that? I know it's been hard for me too, but like, how are you doing it so that you are there for your staff and being a leader?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I'm lucky. I've got my dad as a good mentor, and he's obviously guided me through this.
Well, he's seen a fair few things.
Yeah, he's been through 3 or 4. He keeps reminding me down
the
to
GFCs.
but me personally, yeah, sure, it is hard because I've never seen anything like it, and it's about staying positive. I get up every morning, as you know. I'm still doing my training, online classes, and or I go for a long walk, and that clears my head. I walk into the day, into the office, and you've got to have a positive mindset because I always think to myself, there's always worse out there, what's happening.
That's right.
And, we've got to get through this together. And especially us, there's a big burden on our shoulders as commercial agents. We've got to get everyone through this. I don't want any casualties at all at the end of this. And because they're going to still need help when this is all over. They're still going to need encouragement. I mean, some tenants have said, look, I don't know how long I can hold on for. And it's heartbreaking hearing that. You've got to constantly encourage them. I'm just ringing them saying, hey now, how you going? How's things? How did you go this week? And some tenants are sending me spreadsheets and, I feel like I'm an accountant or a financial planner sometimes. But hey, if that's what they want to send me and it makes them feel comfortable, then yeah, I'm happy to read all that.
Do you think it's been being able to be nimble because you are a family company? Do you think that's, like obviously it cuts from the top, so financially you've obviously had to give yourselves a bit of a shave as well too.
Yeah, correct.
Do you think being a family company that has made you a bit stronger and a bit tougher to be able to help these other businesses?
Yes, yeah, definitely. Because I'm in the same boat as them. I'm feeling their pain. We're all making sacrifices, and we're all got to do our bit. Yeah, sure, it is hard, and I feel their pain. I was on a phone last night till 8:30 at night with a tenant, trying to negotiate a few things, and just hearing his pain, and then ringing the landlord and hearing their pain as well. Because
they're scared too, right?
That's right.
The landlord is scared.
Yeah, correct. Majority of them still got mortgages on their properties. Yeah, sure. Some banks are being accommodating, and others aren't. But
so when we're saying that though, now that we're here, we're happening, we've done the cuts, we've cut back our staff, we've done everything physically and mentally possible and trying to keep ourselves strong. What do you think is, when it's finished, and hopefully we're looking at in May different regulations being dropped back,
yes,
what is a positive that you'll take out of this into the next part of your business line?
Yeah. Well, like my colleague that when I bumped into him the other day, he said, hey, if we can get through this, we can get through anything. And that just stayed in my mind. And I said to myself, okay, I keep saying to myself, I can't wait to get through to the other side because I know things will improve and go back up because we've hit rock bottom. And I think I read last night that the RBA governor has come out and said it's the worst since the Great Depression. Now, none of us in our generation, nobody's ever seen that. So I'm thinking to myself, hey, you know what? This is history here. If I can get through this, I'll be able to get through anything.
I've been through GFCs, but and this is mind-blowing.
Yeah,
But,
it
you know,
is.
like as a community, as the
Yeah.
St George and Sutherland Shire, we're very blessed to have a local paper that wants to pick up and help us
correct.
mingle our businesses together.
Yeah, yes.
And the family companies and other companies which are out there in this marketplace, that we can pull together and use each other as a community to make sure that we get through to the other side.
Yeah, correct. It's a team effort.
Oh, definitely. It's
Yeah.
been wonderful talking to you.
Thank you for
Hopefully
having
we
me.
can do this again, and we'll pass it on.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thanks, Madeline.
Bye.